Arizona. I was speechless. I'm a talk show host, and I was speechless. Arizona 31, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets 6. How's that possible?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the Jets have just totally unraveled as a team. Aaron Rodgers did not throw any touchdown passes. I think there was at one point, Aaron Rodgers was 12 for 25 throwing the football.
Really?
And Kyler Murray is really cooking with his guys. And John Gannon has done such a job with the Cardinal defense. They were just spectacular. Murray threw for 266. Aaron Rodgers finally finished up in garbage time with 151 yards passing. New York is 3-7 on the season with Aaron Rodgers. Does this make you think back to the last Green Bay quarterback who went to New York to put the green helmet on, Brett Favre, and how badly that ended?
Yes.
This is really terrible. But Arizona, they've won 4 of their last 5. Detroit, Houston, what a Sunday night game. In my lifetime, I've never seen anybody throw 5 interceptions and still win a game. But Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions defense got it done. Detroit won against Houston. Yeah, there was a chunk of that game I thought to myself, Dan Campbell, there's a taste of your own medicine. Because they got their doors blown off in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Houston had 3 interceptions in the first half. But the game was so wild that there wound up being 7 picks in the course of that football game. There were 5 interceptions in the first half alone. In fact, there was a stretch, I went back and looked. There were 7 possessions in the first half. 5 of them ended on interceptions.
Really?
I've never seen that. So Detroit survives a 5-pick game from Goff, and they win it with long-distance field goals. They beat Houston, and Houston's really beat up. The Texans have lost 3 of their last 4, so they're a little bit of a spiral down. Minnesota, has the world caught up with Sam Darnold? 3 more interceptions yesterday. Now, the Vikings did win. They beat Jacksonville, but everybody beats Jacksonville. But Sam Darnold now has 13 turnovers, and a bulk of them have come in the last 3 weeks. I wonder if the defenses have caught up to him, or if they're forcing the ball so much to Justin Jefferson that he's thrown into coverages when he should be thrown to other guys. That might be a piece of the equation, but Darnold's game right now is not what Darnold's game was when they roared out of the gate. And then Philadelphia just maimed the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles are 7-2. They got Hurts. They got the 2 wide receivers. They got a tight end, and they got Saquon Barkley, who's putting big numbers on the board running the football. And the Eagles' defense has gotten progressively better, more aggressive, and look at all those young athletes that are running. And Dallas is a disaster. Dak Prescott is going to have hamstring surgery, gone for the year. Their defensive front has been wiped out. Their secondary's got injuries. Their offensive front can't protect, and they can't run the football at all. And Jerry Jones this morning stood up and said, we are not changing coaches during the course of the season. So Mike McCarthy is here to suffer the rest of the season. Cowboy fans are just in a rage. However, sidebar note, Mike McCarthy and every one of those assistants are on the final year of their contract. There will be changes in Dallas effective at the end of the season. So, John, you want to comment on any of those 4 games?
The Lions game against the Texans last night was a lot of fun. It was very entertaining.
Turnover City.
But how about that call when they were interviewing Campbell, and he says, we need to get some turnovers, and then boom, they intercepted the ball. And this is kind of a crazy thing, but I really like that all red uniform for the Texans. And it had sort of a different sort of a swirl logo on the helmet, almost like a Rams logo in a way.
Yeah, they're all color uniforms. They're different. I looked at them and said, wow, that's different. I've never seen that before, but I don't like the old Texan uniforms. I don't like anything about the way the Texans color scheme works. I thought that was kind of novel. That was kind of unique.
Yeah, and even like the face guard on the helmet was like a candy apple red. It was kind of a shiny. So it was kind of a cool look. It was something different. I enjoyed that.
So interesting week around the National Football League, and we move on to week 11 next week, and there are some doozy of games next week. We'll talk more about that on our Thursday.
I have another week 10 question, though. What's going on with the 49ers and the kicker? And there was like an argument.
It was an incident on the sidelines with your guy, Deebo Samuel. You know, Deebo ought to take care of Deebo's business. Like, be productive and earn your freaking money on the field, because he's been in and out of the lineup. He's been hurt. He was in the hospital. So Jake Moody, who's very erratic, missed 3 field goals. So in the fourth quarter, towards the end of the game, Debo, who's always putting his nose in somebody else's business, walked down the sidelines and he shoved Jake Moody, and then he flipped off the long snapper who came to Jake Moody's defense.
Wow.
That's supposed to be a teammate. Are you telling everybody you're better than everybody else? So that's the case. How come your team is only at 500, Debo, and you're making all this money? Horse's ass. Terrible thing. I mean, he's lucky long snapper didn't pop him, because the long snapper stalked him down the sidelines after he shoved Jake Moody. Moody's hot and cold. He's a young rookie. I'm not sure I would have kept him, but he's won some games for them. But obviously, he's missed a pile of field goals. He may lead the league in missed field goals so far this season.
Yeah, but as a teammate, you got to lift your guys up.
Yeah.
Rather than smacking them down.
Yeah, I thought it was cheap. But then all these wide receivers you like, they're all divas.
Yeah,
They're all just, and most of them aren't earning their money right now. So it's a big issue. Okay.